Hello and welcome back to my channel. One of my friends gave everybody a push pop for Christmas. Oh man, I'm having such nostalgia with this, but it's so good. So I wanted to have it in the video, because why not? Anyways, my name is Lauren, so welcome and welcome back. I'm your resident intuitive baddie. And I'm here with another message for you. As you can see, we are done with the Christmas background. This is the mural in my creative studio, the Flavor House. So get used to this background. I might also try to film in the corner at some point just to see how it looks. I have some stuff up on the wall, but yeah, I think I might switch between being here in the middle by the fire and just being in the corner. Just because, the corner still has part of the mural, but you won't be able to see the fire. But it's I also want you to see what I have on the walls. So, we're gonna play around. We're gonna play around. And anyways, so what I wanted to talk about is how an old energy or old patterning can come up in new situations. And I'm telling you this because I watch a lot of readings and channelers, as I've mentioned. That's what inspired me to want to do this myself. And sometimes you'll get people who will read and give advice based off of their own experience rather than just simply reading what the cards are. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to disclaim. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And that's why no matter who you're watching or what you're watching, it's always important to use your discernment and to take what resonates for you and not necessarily take everything that reader or channeler says verbatim. Strawberry. Is it strawberry? Yeah, this is strawberry. Put my push pop down. I'm gonna pick it up when I need a space of thought. So I oftentimes get readings that have to do with either past people or things from the past coming back, right? And I had an experience this weekend that showed me that old energy can come up in new people and situations or patterning. And I think the reason why I find this so important to share is because I think a lot of people are quick to dismiss that something, are quick to dismiss that when a new opportunity arises, that it could just be a form of what you've already been through, just in new packaging. And especially because we're in the beginning of the year when I'm filming this, you can be watching this anytime, so take it as, or when you're in a new, maybe you're not in the new year anymore, and maybe you're just in a new part of your life. You know that you're in a new timeline for yourself. Sometimes what the universe does is it tests us by giving us something that seems like it's new, but really it's old. Or it'd be something that throws you into an old pattern, an old version of yourself. And that is what I want to drive home. Because basically, without giving you much context, I entered an experience that felt at first it was one of those ones that just felt really like too good to be true. When I was there, and when there were a couple of synchronicities that came up that I was like, oh, is this what the people have been talking about? Because I get a lot of channels where it's like two things are coming up. It's like, oh, there's this past energy that is coming up, and then there's a new one as well, and this new opportunity wants to give you everything that you want, but the old one still has work to do. Shit like that, right? Not that verbatim, but stuff like that. Or like there are some readers specifically who, again, by their own experience, will pick up cards. They're like, pick up energies in their cards and say, oh, this person's trying to come back or something, you should leave that alone, and like, move on. But I think the reason why I am coming on here, and the message that I am trying to convey to you, is that sometimes moving on doesn't necessarily mean it has to be everything has to be new. And I think a lot of people get so caught up in what's new and what's shiny and how it can be partially different that they kind of let they just miss the fact that it's not exactly what they wanted, or it doesn't hit the most important things that they asked for. So as somebody who is manifesting and somebody who knows what they want, I was able to see, as I was in this experience, that, oh, there are certain things about this that don't align with the person that I'm becoming. This feels like something I've experienced already, and this feels like it's calling a version of me that I already laid to rest last year. And again, I am here to give you this perspective, because I think, again, a lot of people would have just been like, okay, let's see where this goes. Even though they have the initial intuitive feeling that there's something off about this. And yeah, that's just really important to note, is no manifestation or nothing that you ever wish for or put in, like nothing that you ever imagine for yourself is going to come out exactly how you would imagine it. But what's important to note is that it should come in a way that is more than what you asked for, and not less. Or it's like it comes in a way that is different from what you imagine, but not different in a way where you're disappointed, or like where you're missing anything that you truly asked for at a baseline. So let me give you another example. So like, for example, if this is a job, right? It's like you're looking for a job that has a great team, that has good pay, and that has a good environment, right? It's like maybe for the longest time you've worked at a job that has a really good environment. So then you go to another job, and this job has a really good team, but it lacks the other two. So now you're offered a third job, right? You're offered a new job, and cut off my alarm. It's 12:34. Progression. See, everything's in alignment. You know what? From now on, when this happens, I'm going to tell you what time it was that interrupted the video, because it is significant. So yeah, it's 12:34, which is it's about progression, right? Okay. So like I was saying, so now you're offered another job. And this job has a great environment and it has great pay. But the team the management is fucking shitty. It's like, are you gonna just take this because it's a little bit better than the other two jobs that you have? Or are you gonna wait until something that hits those three, and then maybe it's like maybe you wait a little longer and now you have a job that has a great environment, a great team, and great pay, but also they provide lunch for you. Or you know what I mean? It's like, oh, whoa, this is even better than what I had expected. That's how it should feel when something's in alignment, where it's not exactly what you would have thought of, but it's better. So maybe this job, right? Maybe this job that has all those things and lunch, it's in a different field, but it's still requiring you to do the same thing. I don't know. Now we're getting really, really detailed into this example, but it's like, I don't know, say you're this is hard for me because I've only ever worked like random ass corporate jobs, and now I work for myself. So I don't know, like say you are somebody who is very good at organization and scheduling or something, right? And you've been working in the food industry for a very long time, but then you get an opportunity from somewhere that is asking you to do the same thing, but it's no longer in food now it's in hospitality. But they're gonna take care of you way better, and it's like, yeah, you need to learn a little bit, some new things, but it's everything that you asked for in an opportunity. It's like, are you gonna not take it just because it's not as familiar? Or are you gonna take it because you know it's offering everything that you want at its core and more? And the caveat is that you'd have to learn a different system or whatever, because it's in a different field. So that's a good, I think that's an example I can leave you with. But yeah, because it's like, what happened for me over this weekend is that, yeah, I had this experience, and I was like, ooh, this feels too good to be true. There's like, it's speaking to something that I haven't experienced yet, but yeah, it was kind of like, where's the catch? And then as time went on, I was like, oh, this is calling forth a version of me that I left in the past. And if I were to take this opportunity, I know I'd be repeating a pattern. Even though I would be getting a new experience, I would be repeating a pattern. And in hindsight, that's not what I want. And I think the issue, at least the issue that I'm overcoming, and maybe the underlying issue that you're watching this video for, is the simple fact that a lot of us are not patient, and we just want to have the new experience as soon as possible. And I see this a lot I want to say, with people in relationships, especially when, you look at other people and you're like, oh, everyone else is in relationships and getting married and having families, and then you want that for yourself, right? But it's like, how do you want it for yourself so bad that you're willing to choose something in that's not in alignment just so that you can show up having this experience to everybody else? Or do you want the right experience? Do you want the best version of that experience? Can you wait for it? Can you make sure that what you're calling in is in resonance with who you are or who you're becoming? And I think that's something that I have definitely worked through, especially throughout last year, throughout 2025, was that, or understanding that there were things in my life that I didn't know that I wanted. And I didn't know what I wanted because I didn't take the time to really look at my value systems and see what was important to me. But now that I have, it's like the universe kind of just threw me a test to see, all right, have you learned your lesson? Are you willing to wait for what you know you deserve? Or are you going to take this because it's come up first and it seems like something that is going to give you something new, but it's still not, it's not up to par with who you're becoming. Because like I said in my last video, there's so much power in knowing what you want and then being able to name that something isn't what you want, and then to just decide that you're not going to take it. Because that is what happened, you know. And it's like, this can also be extrapolated. Like, say we're going with the work analogy, right? It's like, okay, maybe that offer or like, say maybe you get a different offer. Team's good, management's good, or like environment's good, team's good. They give you lunch, but the pay isn't there, and maybe you can negotiate. And it's just about knowing so well what you want, what your standards are, and making sure that you don't fall below it just because you want the opportunity. I think whatever collective that I have that is of people watching, like, assuming you're on the same path as me, you might be experiencing delays, because that's something that's been coming up for me a lot, is that I've been getting a lot of signs and synchronicities that are teaching me that delays aren't delays. Delays are only delays if you have a specific time frame you're trying to hit. But where I'm learning to trust the universe is that some things are just all in divine timing. And what creates despair, or what creates being upset or a negative energy, is when you're holding on too tightly to when you want something to come in. Sometimes, or I think all the time, everything comes in exactly how it's supposed to, exactly when it's supposed to. And when we try to rush that, that's when we're met with problems. That's when we delay ourselves even further, because now we've gone on some side quest, when it's just like, I think I had this analogy in my last video, where it's like, you are right here. Like, if you're mining gold, the gold is right here, and it's like, you've drilled till here. So it's like, are you gonna stop now and go seek out a new place to mine, when you feel that it's like, it's right there, just because you're like, oh, this is taking too long, let me try a different way? Sometimes it only feels like it's taking long because you're putting the pressure on the time, and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is being in your body and feeling, like, living life presently, so that you can feel out what feels right. And I get you, if you're watching this, I get you. You're watching me because you get me as well. Where it's like, it can be frustrating to be like, where is it? Where is what I asked for? What is it coming? I've been feeling this for months. What's happening? But trust. It will be here sooner than you know it. And then when you get to finally experience it, you get to be like, wow, I couldn't have imagined that this is what it was going to be like. I'm glad I waited. Rather than to look back and be like, I wonder if something else was coming in for me and I copped out. And I decided to go for what was fast. And it's like, I think that's a paradox as well, right? Is that I think it feels like we wait so long for something, but then when it is the right thing, when it is in alignment, it moves fast. It'll move fast when you're in it. But it's about taking the time and the discernment to know what's right for you and to allow it to come in properly and then move fast with it. But yeah, you have to get out of your head about the timing. I'm there. I'm getting there too. Or like that was my test. So, if you're watching this, maybe this type of test is coming in for you as well. Maybe you're going to be offered something that, yes, is new in one facet, but it's not about looking at the situation. What I'm trying to tell you is shift your perspective and don't look at all the facts or whatever of whatever it is that is happening or being offered to you. Rather, who does it feel like it's calling forth? Is it calling forth an old version of you, or is it calling forth the version of you that you're calling in? Is it in alignment with who you're calling in? Because there it is. That's what I've been trying to get at. Because life is going to offer you a bunch of different things. It can offer you something, like it could be an opportunity that you missed out on before that's coming back for you in a time in your life where you're ready for it and it's ready for you. Or it could be something that's completely new and completely left field. But again, who is it calling forward? Is it calling forward the you want to be, or is it calling forth something that is outdated? Is it going to trigger a pattern that you know that you've already learned? A lesson that you've already overcome. You don't need to repeat it again. But this is how the universe works. It is going to test your old frequency to see how consciously have you come. All right. I don't think there's any more I can add to that. So, I hope this resonated. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, goodbye.